So before we start, Maharaj di Bani ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਜੁੜਨਾ. So please everyone, ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਬਚਨਾਂ. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਦੇਖ ਜੀਵਾਂ ਗੁਰ ਤੇਰਾ, ਪੂਰਨ ਕਰਮ ਹੋਏ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਮੇਰਾ. ਇਹ ਬੇਨੰਤੀ ਸੁਣ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਮੇਰੇ, ਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਕਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਚੇਰੇ. ਆਪਣੀ ਸ਼ਰਨ ਰਾਖ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਦਾਤੇ, ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਕਿਨੇ ਵਿਰਲੇ ਜਾਤੇ. ਸੁਣੋ ਬਿਨੋ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਮੇਰੇ ਮੀਤਾ, ਚਰਨ ਕਮਲ ਵਸੈ ਮੇਰੇ ਚੀਤਾ. ਨਾਨਕ ਏਕ ਕਰੇ ਅਰਦਾਸ, ਵਿਸਰ ਨਾਹੀ ਪੂਰਨ ਗੁਣਤਾਸ. ਨਾਨਕ ਏਕ ਕਰੇ ਅਰਦਾਸ, ਵਿਸਰ ਨਾਹੀ ਪੂਰਨ ਗੁਣਤਾਸ. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. So before we start, just wanted to mention, because we are talking about Dukh, Sukh, so ਸਾਡੇ community which drugs and alcohol is quite bad, you know. So on 21st of March this month, sorry if you don't mind, I'm just going to talk, there's a family workshop in Bedford at the Gurdwara there. So you can get more details from the Sikh Recovery Network site, but it's 10 till 4. But for any family who's suffering with someone in the family who's got addiction issues, and that's a lot of families in the Punjabi community, you know. So by Jazra is here as well from the Sikh Recovery Network, so anyone wants to catch up with him afterwards, he's at the front here. Khade ho jao apna darshan. I'm just kidding. So recap of week 1. Last week we talked about why we were doing these sessions here, the importance of therapy, types of sadness and happiness, what is sadness, your pain is personal to you, how sadness can be made worse, what is happiness, happiness formulas, we discussed a few of those, how happiness can get affected as well, and actually not a person can make themselves sad from their happiness, what Guruji says about Dukh, why Guruji calls the opposites the same, like gold and dust and Dukh and Sukh and Raja and Grieve and that kind of thing. We had a Chardi Kala and a sadness example about why one was Chardi Kala but looked like they had less, and the other one had more, and they were kind of upset and maybe have even mental health issues. And then making Dukh into Sukh, there's an example about resentment to parents and upbringing. So this week is a quite intense one session, so because I'm trying to fit quite a few things in, I'm just throw things out, because if it's 10 weeks I'm trying to fit it into 4, it's hard. So what we're focusing on today is we're going to take a deep dive into our worldview, how we perceive the world, why do we think and even speak the way we do, and what has led to this way of thinking, where has our pain come from, and what is the trajectory or direction of our life. And there's quite a lot there, but some hard, difficult concepts in Sikhi that we're going to discuss today. But hopefully, I mean, it's recorded, so if there's bits that are a bit unclear while we're going along, don't worry about it. You can watch it again, watch it over, try to understand it. You can send me questions if you have any as well. So we have this thing called a worldview, and our worldview is the overall framework of beliefs, assumptions, interpretations, through which a person understands reality, makes sense of life, and decides what is true, important, and meaningful. So everybody's grown up differently, everybody's got a different environment, everybody's got different mentors, everybody's got different goals and objectives, so it makes everyone quite unique, you know? So, but that worldview is the thing that causes us the most problems, you know? Especially from a Sikhi perspective, because that worldview is a thing that's not aligning to what our Guru's saying. And what we're going to do is just split it into 3 basic things for now, because we're going to switch to different things quite quickly in this. But what is real and true, that's our worldview. Who are we and why are we here, that's our worldview. And what shapes us. So that gets kind of a bit more complicated when we start looking at it, because when we say what is real and true is what exists beyond the physical world. Sometimes that will shape us. If we believe there's something beyond this physical world, material and spiritual, that's called ontology, how the universe operates, law and order, Do you believe in karma or not? Like the major religions don't, but Sikhi says clearly there is karma. Causality is a divine will. Some people who don't believe in God don't think there's a divine will. Hai na? So how we know what is true, so we use reasoning, we might use science, you might use your education, we use Gurbani, hai na? And we use scripture and lived experience, epistemology, so beliefs about the divine, etc. So if you look through these, our basic nature, who we are, so generally human beings ego driven, so either inherently good or inherently bad or something in the middle, moral or immoral, our sense of self, meaning of life, our moral framework, where do we get our rights and wrongs from? Because often we're not necessarily getting them from our guru, we might be getting them from somewhere else, it might be some other framework that we're using. And then loads of things shape us, our culture, our emotional development, that's our psychological experiences, our education, relationships, travels, successes and failures, influence of family, peers, mentors, so lots of things there, no? About what our worldview is. Not just a straightforward, well, my worldview is like a really basic thing. It's actually quite complicated. And when we go further on, if I ask you who you are as a person, you know, our identification, our ID, who we think we are, that's really messed up. It's got so many things that makes us a person. And often it's very basically done, like a Punjabi will say, "Main Punjabi haan," or someone will say, you know, "I'm English." Or someone might be really proud that they're Indian or something. Or someone might be really proud that they're, you know, a Man United fan. Huh? There's loads of messy things. And even Sikh, the word Sikh, is interestingly used as well, because Sikh might mean something different to everybody here. And we were having a conversation a little bit outside as well about how Sikh can just be tick-boxy thing, but it doesn't really talk about what Guru's saying a Sikh is. So how you look at the world, and that sometimes also has a massive, well, it will have a massive effect on how you handle your Dukh. What you perceive as Sukh as well. What do you think is happiness? So we're going to take a deep dive today, and we're going to go through Sikhi. When we come to this dunya, see dunya nu aaya, which is something we're not necessarily taught or discussed in our schools or in our education, is that we have this baggage that we brought with us. Baggage or uppishlaya, it's come from somewhere else. And that baggage, Guru calls that a pag, thode pag. So that's not a bag. Sorry, I know it's written badly. It should have been double A. It's not the bag that we got, it's our pag, hai na? Sade pag. Pog nahi hai pag. And the pag defines a lot of things. Bahut kuch ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਨਿਕਲਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ from Gurbani as well. So when we look at our pag, I'm really trying to simplify this as much as I can. I know it's not necessarily that simple, but so we've got these, and just categorize it into three things. Sade sokhya, sade naal, dukh bhi naal. So things that are going to bring us happiness, wealth, comfort, and anything you regard as making you happy. And there's a load of stuff that we brought with us that's going to bring us some misery. But there's these other things called vadpag. There's diamonds, Some people have got a lot of them, some people got a few, some people got none, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਭਾਗ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ, this is called ਭਾਗ. And look what Gurbani says. ਜਾਂ ਕੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਲਿਵ ਲਾਗੀ ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਸੋ ਧਨ ਵਡਭਾਗੀ. So ਜੇ person ਜਿਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਨਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੇ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, Guru says ਉਹ ਵਡਭਾਗੀ ਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਭਾਗ ਵੱਡੇ ਆ. They got diamonds, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ diamonds ਆ. So ਵਡਭਾਗੀ ਹਰ ਸੰਗਤ ਪਾਵ ਹੈ, ਭਾਗਹੀਨ ਪਰਮ ਚੋਟਾਂ ਖਾਵੈ, ਬਿਨ ਭਾਗਾਂ ਸਤ ਸੰਗ ਨਾ ਲੱਭੈ, ਬਿਨ ਸੰਗਤ ਮਹਿਲ ਭਰੀ ਜੈ ਜੀ. Sorry, I didn't put the translation there, but Guru is saying ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਡਭਾਗੀ ਆ, someone who's got some diamonds, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੰਗਤ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਆ, ਦੂਜਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦੀ. So only a vadpagi finds it. But look at how these words are being used. Ek vadpagi a, someone who's got a lot of good pag, change. Ek pagheen a, Guru saying. That's someone who hasn't got the pag. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਪਰਮ ਝੋਟਾਂ ਖਾਵੇ means ਉਹਨੇ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਣਾ ਆ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ. ਭਰਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨੇ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਣਾ, they're going to get deluded a little bit and ਉਹਨੇ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਣਾ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸੰਗਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਣੀ. ਸੋ ਬਿਨ ਭਾਗਾਂ ਸਤਸੰਗ ਨਾ ਲੱਭੈ, ਬਿਨ ਸੰਗਤ ਮੈਲ ਭਰੀਜੇ ਜੀ। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਚੰਗੇ ਆ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਭਾਗ ਆ ਚੰਗੇ, ਉਹੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ। ਸੋ ਵੀ ਜਸਟ ਟੇਕ ਇਟ ਫॉर ਗ੍ਰਾਂਟਿਡ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਪੌਪ ਡਾਊਨ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਟੁਨਾਈਟ ਫॉर ਅਬਾਊਟ 10 ਮਿੰਟਸ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਪਰ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ, ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼। ਤੈਨੂੰ ਵਾਹ ਵਾਹ ਕਰਤੀ ਰਸਨਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸੁਹਾਈ, ਪੂਰੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਆਈ, ਵੱਡ ਭਾਗੀਆਂ ਵਾਹ ਵਾਹ ਮੂੰਹ ਕਢਾਈ। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡ ਭਾਗੀ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਭਾਗ ਆ ਲਿਆਂਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਨਾਲ, ਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ 'ਤੇ। ਸੋ ਜਸਟ ਦ ਫੈਕਟ ਦੈਟ ਵੀ ਕੈਨ ਸੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਵਾਹ ਵਾਹ ਕਰਨਾ, ਦੈਟਸ ਅ ਵੈਰੀ ਵੈਰੀ ਲੱਕੀ ਪਰਸਨ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਡਾਇਮੰਡ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ। ਐਂਡ ਸੋ ਵੱਡ ਭਾਗੀ ਨਿਹਚਲ ਥਾਨ, ਜਹ ਜਪੀਏ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਕੇਵਲ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਸੋ ਵੱਡ ਭਾਗੀ ਦਾ ਮਾਪੀ ਤਾਂ ਥਾਨ ਮਾਪੀ ਬੋਡੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਅਤੇ ਥਾਨ ਬਟ ਯੂ ਕੁਡ ਸੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ 'ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਇਨ ਦਿਸ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਭਗਤੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੱਡ ਭਾਗੀ ਥਾਨ ਆ ਉਹ। ਸੋ ਉੱਥੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਭਾਗ ਡਾਇਮੰਡ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ, ਯੂ ਕੈਨ ਗੈਟ ਸਮ ਡਾਇਮੰਡ ਫਰਮ ਦੈਟ ਹੈ ਨਾ। what does this say to you ਹੈ ਨਾ। so try to make it a little bit let's get interaction let's get some interaction here. What sort of person is that on the left there? What's their life do you think they'll be like? So the size of the thing is how much they've got basically. So the first one there, just to make sure I've not done anything wacko, is that someone's might get a lot of happiness, and they might have less kind of dukh in their life, ਪਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਵੱਡ ਭਾਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੰਗੇ, ਡਾਇਮੰਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ। What sort of life will that be? ਹਾਂ ਹਾਂ, ਵਰਲਡਲੀ ਚੰਗੇ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਣੇ, ਵਧੀਆ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਣੀਆਂ, ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਚੰਗੀ ਹੋਊਗੀ, ਗੱਡੀਆਂ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਣੀਆਂ, ਹਾਊਸ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਊਗਾ ਵੱਡਾ, you know what I mean? They have a good life, they'll be okay, they might get a little bit of dukh, the family might stay intact, everything might be great ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਪਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਭਗਤੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਣੀ, they're not going to get any ਸਿੱਖੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਣੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ। So here, what about that one there? ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਘੱਟ ਆ, ਪਰ ਦੁੱਖ ਉਹਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਇਕੱਠਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਆ, there's going to get a lot of ਦੁੱਖ ਹੈ ਨਾ, but they're going to get very little happiness. ਪਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਭਗਤੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿੱਚ, there are no diamonds ਹੈ ਨਾ। So here again, here's what about this compared to that? This might be an easy life ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਡਾਇਮੰਡ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਕੋਲ ਤੇ ਹੈਪੀਨੈਸ ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ, ਦੁੱਖ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਗੇ, ਦੁੱਖ ਤਾਂ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਹੁਣ it's going to get some ਦੁੱਖ ਹੈ ਨਾ। Whereas this one might be diamonds ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, but they might get a lot of dukh in their life ਹੈ ਨਾ। happiness ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਨਾ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ 'ਤੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਭਾਗ on a worldly scale might not be that good ਹੈ ਨਾ। Have you ever thought about yours? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਦੇ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਇੱਥੇ ਡਾਇਮੰਡ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਚੋਰੀ ਕਰਕੇ ਆ ਗਏ ਇੱਥੇ? what have we been doing? If we never, you know, when you read ਬਾਣੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, ਗੁਰੂ says ਮਨ ਰੇ ਕੌਣ ਕੁਮਤ ਤੈਲੀਨੀ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੁਮਤ ਆ, this dodgy thinking that's going on in your brain, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਲਈ ਆ, where did you get it from? Where did we bring that from ਹੈ ਨਾ। And this kind of fits into this karma thing that we think. So karma, don't worry about it. It looks complicated. It's not that bad, huh? It's not that bad to understand. Here, our level 1 now, start acting like janavar. Human being starts acting like an animal, huh? Can you give me an example of a human being acting like an animal? Not person. No, in India here, it's going on the internet. What's the action that's like an animal? What would you say?
When people are acting angry.
Good. Gussa aa gaya, huh? Stealing. So Janwar steal, you know, which his program was. Bandar go and steal from the other bandar and all that kind of stuff. And dogs steal from dogs, right? And human beings steal from human beings, है ना? जानवरां दे काम आए हैं, हाँ जी. Crime, yeah. किसी ਨੂੰ murder करना, murder कर देना, कत्लेआम. Guru calls that animal stuff, yeah. But there's lots of them. We might take too long. I've got quite a few slides to get through. But here, worldly desires. That's relatively easy, right? Worldly desires. Manu baddiyan cheezaं chahidiyan, money chahidiya, everyone around me like it's got to be like this. This Raja hunda. Raja says I want 15 wives, है ना? Raja कहता मैं एक नहीं लेनी, 15 लेनी है. and all that, it goes bigger and bigger and bigger. That's worldly desires. What about this good person? Just being a good person. Hanji.
Naam japna.
Maybe just being a good person.
Being honest, truthful.
An honest person, a truthful person, someone who you can trust, someone, no. But they might be doing stuff that Guru saying, a ritual ya. They might believe in God, but Guru saying, "Eh cheez theek nahi hegi." But we're going to discuss that in a minute. But there's these. This is chotha pad, that is fourth stage. Anand te sahaj te WhyGuru naal milap hona. These are the levels that we're going to discuss. Hai na? So here, when we do this thing, we're collecting more jair. So I'm just trying to make it easy to understand. When we're doing this world desires, jair katha hunda ya. Jair hai ho. That's maade karma we're doing, hai na? When we're doing changa, we're going to gain happiness. Because a lot of people here, you'll understand in a minute, oh heaven, hovana chahande, like we were talking last week, hai na? But here, I think diamond ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਆਨੰਦ ਤੇ ਸਹਿਜ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੇ diamonds, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ actions ਜਿਹੜੇ ਐਦਾਂ ਆ, the actions are like that. That's collecting some real good stuff, man. Top stuff. ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ. Now this is called tamo gun. So if you ever, and when you read Bani, ਹੈ ਨਾ, Maharaj ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤ੍ਰੈ ਗੁਣ ਮਾਇਆ ਆ. Maya is called ਤ੍ਰੈ ਗੁਣ. ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ three different qualities are. One is called tamo gun. One is called Rajogun, one is called Satogun. Hai na? A Sikh does not do this. Sikh ena cho uppar a. Jehdi Sikhi tusi sikhya, you're above these. Tusi ena cheejan se nahi hege. Hopefully, hai na? That these things you'll understand. That's Triguna Maya. This is called Chotha Pad, Turiya Avastha. That's called fourth state. Hai na? This is where Sikhan de kam ethe nahi hege. Even though Sikhan de kam ethe, by the way, you know, ethe. So I want you to look at these things. The animal instincts are like domestic violence. Domestic violence, it tamoguni stuff, yeah. If you look at serious violent crime, udne kisi jaake knife marta, kisi nu gun marte, kill them, whatever, shot them, do whatever. If violence, it tamoguni stuff, yeah, it's animal instinct stuff. Substance abuse leading to harm of others. बहुत माड़ी गल है in our society, you know? Sexual exploitation, abuse, cruelty, etc., etc., etc. It's tamoguni stuff, yeah. So I'm just trying to make you understand it. We can just use these words, but the real stuff, how we act, it's tamoguni, yeah. Our rajoguni is this person, they're relentlessly trying to get something, isn't it? Dunya to main ras kadna ya. I'm going to get some ras. But they want worldly ras, you know? So busyness, no inner peace, tax fraud. You know how many people do tax fraud in England? It's ridiculous. Go and look at the stats on tax fraud. It's like the bijante that come in. Manipulation because everyone does it. Corporate greed, chasing status, wealth. This is rajoguni. Rajoguniya. Corruption and abuse of power. तुसी देख लिया America, सारा कुछ देख लिया. It's corruption, है ना? That's pure example of rajoguni stuff. What's happening in the dunya now, hai na? The satoguniya is ritualistic, hai na? It's moral. You do charity, but you want something with it. Do you know Guru says, "Satya man santokh upjay dene ke vichar," hai na? What he's saying is Satya is the people who give to charity, hai na? De mange saisa guna sob kare sansar. O kende dinde ta hai na? You give to charity, but he says they want 2-3 times back from WhyGuru what they gave. And they want the dunya to say, "Boh, this person is such a good donator," hai na? So they want something back. So automatically फिर गुरु दे काम नहीं होंदे, वो सतोगुणी जै चीज हो जाती है. Spirituality to get to heaven, that's virtually all religions, by the way, apart from Sikhi, you know? Religious ritual without inner change, that's like we were talking before. ਅਸੀਂ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਛਕ ਲਿਆ, but really ਬੰਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਉਹੀ ਆ ਨਾ, ਬੰਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਉਹੀ ਆ. Amrit Bana Palya did everything else, but really the bandha didn't really change, you know, the internal thing. And fake or performative spirituality, selective things like kind to some but harsh to others, and following rules without compassion, you know. So theek ya, there might be some good things inside of that, and ote thonu kuch happiness mil jaoga, and you collected some happiness. You've collected some happiness there. Hai na? That might come in this life, it might come in your next one. Idda nahi hai bhi aise janam vich tanu sara milna. So I just want to make sure this is clear, that all three of these are in Maya. So in relationships, when a person's like this, or like this, or like this, I hope that this helps. That if you're doing controlling domination, especially like in your marriage or something, you're tamoguni bandha, or woman, whichever way around it is. If you're doing good and it's all self-serving, that's animal instinct stuff. Harsh, abusive speech, dishonesty, neglect, denial, etc., slandering. Our Rajoguni is all about themselves. If it's all about me, and everything I'm doing, whether it's good, bad, how I speak, how I have a relationship, but it's about me progressing. It's about me progressing in this world. No? As a Rajoguni person, you got 5 Dukh, you will understand that. No? Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar. Usually, it's 2 go worse. That's lust and greed. When those 2 go bad, it's a good sign that banda Rajoguni ye ban gaya hai, na? And cover tracks, shift blame, weaken the rivals and gain leverage. Satogun is this aligned to beliefs and values, seen as a good person but to get a spiritual reward. Might be calm and polite but ego driven really still. Because the ego is still saying, Mainu kuch chahida hai, I want something. So I want you to think, what do we want? When you, asi paath karde hain, let's say, simran karde hain, or we're doing something, what do you want? Have you ever thought, what do you really want? A lot of the time, part is done saying, WhyGuru Sukh devo, Sukh. Sukh, But what do you want when you're doing that? For your spirituality, is to kind of think inwardly. What are you doing it for? What do you think you're planting here? What are we planting when we're doing these things? Ki bijiya janda hai, what is it? What sort of phal is it? What's it going to do? What's it going to do?
Sikhi na jodna.
Aina na jodna? Aina cheezein na jodna? Definitely think, read this. Is that going to join us with Sikhi? Huh?
Adding to our baggage.
It's adding to baggage. So jara baggage asi lianda saga na. So here, I want to stop. Let's just recap there because quite a lot of information. No. So we've all got a worldview. We've got to understand it's our pehla janam nahi hai. This is not our first life. We've been here loads of times. We've been here a lot of times. Hai na? Guru saying, I've brought baggage with me. I've got good stuff and bad stuff. Keep it in simple English-ish. I hope I have got some diamonds. So that might be our hope. Hai na? Sada a desire hoga shayad. I hope I got something. All of this has and will shape my life. There's 3 levels of Maya and I'm engaging in them in different ways. So I want you to think about this. What sort of personality do we have? And where is my life heading at the moment? Where is it heading? Keri bus farni asi. Which bus are we on? Huh? Where's our life heading? Are we heading to level 5? Are we knocking about in level 1, 2, 3? Level are we heading to see WhyGuru na milna asi? Or are we knocking about saying, I'm quite happy as long as WhyGuru just keeps giving me my money, my job. Yeah, family's kind of alright. Bache manu bulan, that's enough for me. Hai? Sometimes that's a human being. That's a human being. Hai? And we're going to go above that. Hai? So I want you to do this. Think of someone who may have a lot of pain in their life, but they keep on planting diamonds. Hai? You say, wow, wow. Imagine a person that's got a painful life. Another cheesy bandini really. But they keep doing bhakti. Hai? So pain is not the end of the world, but it's the separation from a desire or attachment. That's what you've got to remember when we're talking about Dukh Sukh here. Pain is not the end of our world. Hai? It's not the end. The end is when we say WhyGuru is nothing. But think of someone who has a lot of happiness in their life, but they do not plant any diamonds. You must know lots like that. Hai? You come to me and you say, you got amazing, you got money, or you got this, or you got that, but they don't care. Diamond kuch karna, plant karna. So happiness is not what life is about. It could be that the platform for the future pain. Hai? So we could be making steps. So we talked last week, we said Dukh and Sukh to a person who who's Guru oriented, they're the same, huh? Because one day Sukh becomes Dukh and Dukh becomes Sukh. It doesn't make no difference to that person that much. They know that that thing can change its image very quick. And that's why that happiness that we think we got, let's think about this. Imagine you did all your life and like we just talked about, ਅਸੀਂ ਘਰ ਵੀ ਲੈ ਲਿਆ, ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, we had a generally really good life. What do you think is going to happen? What do you honestly think is going to happen with that? You can't answer all the questions, but I'll let you answer this one. Go on. Go on, I'll let you answer.
Nothing.
Nothing's going to happen. Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen with that, huh? Something definitely is going to happen. And because there's a problem. So ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਏ ਸੀਗੇ ਇੱਥੇ, I don't know if anyone's told you this, I hope it's not new news to you, huh? But when we came here, this is our life here. But you know what we've been told is that ਸਾਡਾ baggage ਪਿਛਲਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਹਲੇ, that we're not going to complete in this life. So Guru says ਮਰਨ ਲਿਖਾਏ ਮੰਡਲ ਮੈਂ ਆਏ, ਅਸੀਂ ਮਰਨਾ ਲਿਖ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਹਾਂ, we signed a contract that we're going to die at a certain day, you know. But there was a load of baggage behind that said we're not going to complete that in this life. So what does that mean then? What does it mean? What does it mean after this life?
We take it to our next life.
Yeah, it's going to carry on. I mean, it's ਚੱਲੀ ਜਾਣਾ. So Guruji saying, ਤੇਰਾ ਮੁੱਕਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਲੇ. ਲੋਕ ਦਿਲ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਲਿਖੇ ਕਦੇ ਨਾ ਛੁੱਟੀਏ, ਖਿੰਨ ਖਿੰਨ ਭੁੱਲਣ ਹਾਰ, ਬਖਸ਼ਣਹਾਰ ਬਖਸ਼ ਲੈ ਨਾਨਕ ਪਾਰ ਉਤਾਰ. ਮੇਰੇ ਲੇਖੇ ਛੁੱਟਣੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ. Guru Ji ne ardas lada, mere lekha, that's a lekha. Lekha means I've got something to pay and I'm going to have to pay it. Ye mera lekha hai, likhya. Guru Ji saying, it finished nahi hoya hale. It's not finished. So a person might be running around saying, life ta bahut badhiya hai, assi putthe kam bhi kari jande, siddhe kam bhi kari jande ha, paisa bhi mili janda hai, sare sanu ba bhi kari jande ha. But that ain't the game. A game nahi hai. So your akha now should be on a new level. Your worldview will change. Your worldview will change drastically because you start looking around saying, damn man, ਇੱਕ ਨਾ ਨੂੰ ਸਭ ਸੋਝੀ ਆਈ, ਇੱਕ ਫਿਰਦੇ ਵੇ ਪਰਵਾਹ, ਇੱਕ ਨਾ ਨੂੰ ਸੋਝੀ ਆ ਗਈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੋਝੀ ਆ ਗਈ, they woke up, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਇੱਥੇ ਪੁੱਠੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਕੇ ਨਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਕੰਮ ਖਰਾਬ ਹੋਣਾ ਸਾਰਾ. ਇੱਕ ਫਿਰਦੇ ਵੇ ਪਰਵਾਹ, ਕੋਈ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੇ ਪਰਵਾਹ, ਉਹਦੇ just carrying on, say don't worry about it, ਖਾਓ ਪੀਓ ਮੌਜਾਂ ਮਾਰੋ, ਕੀ ਆ problem, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਅਗਲਾ you know that ਆ ਜਗ ਮਿੱਠਾ ਗੱਲ ਕਿਨੇ ਡਿੱਠਾ, this is one of that one, the Punjabi little quote, ਕਿ ਆ ਇੱਥੇ ਮਿੱਠਾ ਆ, ਅਗਲਾ ਕਿਨੇ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਆ, ਇੱਥੇ ਮੌਜਾਂ ਮਾਰੋ ਇੱਥੇ. That's a very problematic way to think, you know? So that stuff, we ain't finished with it, so we cannot complete our previous baggage in one lifetime. Now we're gonna address that.
There's a little trick, you know, the Raghaswami people. I know some people become Raghaswamis, right?
Hanji,
When they take Naam from the Guru, they have to not tell anybody the secret words and stuff, right? They're told, they're guaranteed after 3 lifetimes they'll go to such a country.
Hanji.
But who's going to know what's happened after 3 lives? It's a bit
ਠੀਕ
of
ਹੈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਹੋ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕਹੋ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ, 3 ਲਾਈਫ ਟਾਈਮ ਦਾ ਗਾਰੰਟੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ. So here, what meant was here, I'm going to have to hurdling now. This is previous lives, ਇੱਥੇ. Previous lives ਦਾ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਅਸਰ ਪੈ ਰਿਹਾ ਆ, what we've done before. Now, sometimes you meet someone and they get lots of money. ਨੈਣ ਨਕਸ਼ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, you know, they're fit, you know, they get good jobs, they try to do everything. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਸਭ ਕੁਛ ਚੱਲੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ. You look at them and say, wow man, why don't I get that? You know what I mean? But ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਭਾਗ ਆ ਇੱਦਾਂ, they've written something, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਨੀ ਮਿਲਣੀ ਆ, ਕੁਛ ਮਿਲਣਾ. ਪਰ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੀ ਗਿਣਤੀ ਮਿਣਤੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. We don't measure somebody from that. So those previous life things has a lot of influence on what we're doing here. This is all home driven. So when now you understand the concept of home, what Guru saying, home naave naal virodh hai, doye na base ek thai. Two things can't sit in one place. You can't have home and naam in one place. You can only have one. They're mutually exclusive, है ना. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਦੂਜਾ ਆ. Guru saying, when you want to doing this maya, ਜੇ ਮਾਇਆ ਧਾਰੀ ਬਣਨਾ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਤੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਹਉਮੈ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ. ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਭਗਤੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ, ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੁਕਮ ਮੰਨਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ. So a person who starts accepting WhyGuru's hukum, ਉਹ fourth state ਤੇ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ. Sorry ਭਾਜੀ.
I just got a little question. If we're born into Sikhi then,
ਹਾਂਜੀ.
and let's just say, aren't we all born with a diamond then?
It depends. I mean, Sikh means a lot of
Born
things.
into that life though, you know, and with the potential.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So,
Yeah.
does it turn that on? That
100%.
on its head then?
I would say it does. I would say if a person has access to Guru's Bani, है ना, ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਇਸ ਜੱਗ ਮੈਂ ਚਾਨਣ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਹ ਜੱਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਜੇ ਲਾਈਟ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਬਚਨ ਆ. If someone's got access to that, ਉਹ ਕੋਈ ਐਵੇਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ. So I absolutely think that's right, yeah, what you've said. But what I meant about Sikh families, there's some Sikh families don't go anywhere near Guru's Bani. So ਉਹ Sikhi label 'ਚ ਜੰਮੇ ਹੋ ਆ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਪਰ ਉਹ ਮੰਦੇ ਭਾਗ ਆ. That's because of the ਭਾਗ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ. So this is hard to understand from a moral and even an internal perspective, is because we're thinking from this, है ना. Guru saying, I'm not thinking from there, I'm telling you what WhyGuru is doing, है ना. And that's the difference. It's hard for this brain to work that out. And that's we had a bit of a question on it last week as well, है ना, where the whole thing is ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਹਉਮੈ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੋਚ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, you can't understand why Guru's come. You can't understand it. That's why Guru starts beating us with these shabds. He says, Mahapyan Udyan Nagar Khan Manya. ਇਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਫੋਰੈਸਟ ਆ. ਇਹ ਫੋਰੈਸਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੂੰ ਕਹਿ ਮੈਂ ਘਰ ਬਣਾਤਾ, ਝੂਠ ਸਮਗਰੀ ਭੇਖ ਸੱਚ ਕਰ ਜਾਣਿਆ. ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਝੂਠਾ ਆ ਸਾਰਾ, ਇਹ ਤੂੰ ਸੱਚ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਹਿ ਗਿਆ. ਕਾਮ ਕ੍ਰੋਧ ਅਹੰਕਾਰ ਫਿਰੇ ਦੀਵਾਨਿਆ, ਇਹ ਪੰਜਾਂ ਦੂਤਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੂੰ ਫਸ ਗਿਆ ਆ ਪਾਗਲਾਂ ਵਾਂਗੂ. ਬਸ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀਵਾਨਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤੂੰ. ਸਿਰ ਲੱਗਾ ਜਮ ਡੰਡ ਤਾਂ ਪਛਤਾਨਿਆ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਜਦੋਂ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਜਮਦੂਤਾਂ ਦਾ ਡੰਡ ਲੱਗਣਾ ਫੇਰ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਜਾਗ ਆਣੀ ਉਦੋਂ. ਬਿਨ ਪੂਰੇ ਗੁਰਦੇਵ ਫਿਰ ਸ਼ੈਤਾਨਿਆ, ਕਿ ਸ਼ੈਤਾਨ ਸੈਟਨ ਦੇ ਕੰਮ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ. That's what Guru saying to us. ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸੈਟਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੰਮ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੈਟਨ ਕੋਈ ਬੰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ, ਕਿ ਤੇਰੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਬੈਠਾ ਆ. That's how Guru uses as concepts from other religions, telling us the truth, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਇਹ homemade driven ਆ. And ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੁਕਮ ਮੰਨਣ ਲੱਗ ਪਵੇ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਹੁਕਮ ਆਇਆ, is this and starts changing their life, they become a different thing. ਉਹ ਹੋਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ. So this is Naman Bani, and even this good stuff, or ritualistic, yeah. Guru doesn't like it, you know. Guru says ਤੀਰਥ ਤੇ ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ. Guru says ਉੱਥੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਹਾਥੀ ਪਾਣੀ 'ਚ ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ ਕਰਦਾ, and it gets ਮਿੱਟੀ and chucks it back on his back. He goes, ਇਹ ਤੂੰ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਨਾਮਨ ਚੱਲੇ ਤੀਰਥੀ ਮਨ ਖੋਟੇ ਤਨ ਚੋਰ. He told to Pandit, he says ਤੂੰ ਤੇਰਾ ਮਨ ਤੇਰਾ ਖੋਟਾ ਆ. A ਖੋਟਾ ਮਨ means you're corrupt, ਹੈ ਨਾ. He goes, ਤੂੰ ਤੀਰਥ ਤੇ ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ, ਇੱਕ ਪਾਏ ਲਾਥੇ ਨਹਾਤੇ ਆ, ਦੋਏ ਪਾਏ ਚੜੀ ਸਹੋਰ. ਇਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਤੂੰ ਲਾਤਾ by going to the ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ, ਇੱਕ we put two more on. You put two ਪਾਪ on, ਬਾਹਰ ਧੋਤੀ ਧੂਮੜੀ. ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਤੇਰਾ ਬਾਹਰਲਾ ਬਾਣਾ ਤਾਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ, ਅੰਦਰ ਵਿਸ ਨੇ ਕੋਰ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੱਪ ਬੈਠਾ ਅੰਦਰ ਤੇਰੇ, ਜ਼ਹਿਰ ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਸਾਧ ਭਲੇ ਅਨਨਾਤੇ ਆ, ਚੋਰ ਸੇ ਚੋਰਾ ਚੋਰ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਸਾਧ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਗੰਗਾ ਦੇ ਜਾਣ ਦੀ. ਸਾਧ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰ ਆ. But he says a ਚੋਰ will remain a ਚੋਰ, ਜਿੰਨਾ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਵੇ. ਲੋਕ ਉਹਨੇ ਖੰਡਨ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ. He doesn't like it, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਜਿਹੜੇ ritualistic empty ritual ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਰ ਕਹਿਣਾ WhyGuru, I was really good on this planet and gives a bit of heaven, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਆ ਮੰਗਿਆ is just ਮੰਗ is wrong, ਹੈ ਨਾ. Guru saying ਗਲਤ ਆ. And so I want to quickly get past this now. So ritual, this is the full picture. That's the full picture of it, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਹਿਰ ਬਣਾਈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, that and all that stuff.
Just a quick one on the rituals. The intention from most of the actions you said in the rituals is negative, ego driven, because they want people to see them in a different light.
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ.
So then why do they get a different reward to the first two? Why do they get happiness and dukkha the same? Why is that different? Because
sometimes inherently someone does something changa there as well. I'll give you an example. I'm not saying that person is totally ritualistic, but I was broken down once, है ना. मैंने Christian ने चक लिया सगा. I'll be fair, a Punjabi stopped. And I kind of said, I'll ask him. But the Christian picked me up, है ना. But to me, he's not following Guru's mat, है ना. But he said, because of Jesus, मैं तेनु चक्के आया. But he मेरे ते प्रचार करदा सी हो. He's saying, Jesus helped you today, you know. Remember that, huh? I think that's what he's doing. But I'll still say it's a good deed that he did, because he picked me and took me to a petrol station to get some petrol and start my car, you know. So you're inherently going to do good thija, aren't you? You're still going to do good things. but that sometimes the person wants a reward for it. This has nothing to do with God in there. Even that still, koi worship hai kuch hai na. So it'll still give you something. It'll give you something, hai na. But I'm saying that's sadili sasta sodaya. It's not. That's not what Sikh is doing, hai na. So there's another problem. Sorry, my time is really limited. Look at this beautiful picture here. So this is what we started here. We had this much. Asli dunya te aa gaye, and then we got that, and we made this much more. Dunya te aa kar liya. Human being ne. So come here. Wasn't going to complete the back ones. One hor lad liya. Hor lad ke challe ithon. That's Guru saying to us. Guru telling us, "Be hun lavi lunia khet. Hun tera khet hai na jere tu khet bijya the. Hun onu badna aaya. Te onu kehna aa phal eda eh phal. This is what the trade is for what you've done here." Hai na. So Guru saying jaag pao. While Guru saying wake up. Ke ede nalo diamond tu beej. Diamond. Don't beej any dukh sukh. Dukh sukh karta janam fun mua. Charan kamal gur ashram diya. Lo Guru saying. Because dukh sukh karke a janam mar gaya ithon. Just doing dukh sukh, dukh sukh, dukh sukh. Guru says, Guru ne bani da ashram deta. Ashram is like, jithe yogis nahi bende like a ghar deta Maharaj. Guru says, charan sharan da ashram deta sanu. Guru's given us this place where we can go. We don't have to stay in dukh sukh. See, diamond utthe khatne hai na. So we added all of this stuff, and now the person's gone even worse than where they were before. Person's vadapagi in terms of the human birth. Even having a human birth, Guru says, manas de, the manas janam dulamb hai. Hoye na baare baar. Kabir ji kehndे na, me manas janam hai. It is baar nahi milna tenu. You're not going to get this over and over again because it's really rare to get it. And sometimes some people ask, they say, how do I get human body? Tell me a Gurbani quote. Why did I get it? And they want a Gurbani quote. Do you know Gurbani which Maharaj Kirpa Kita had the luck to write the first search engine of Gurbani, but there's 64,000 pankti Maharaj Bani which 64,000 roughly of Guru Granth Sahib, 63,000 and something, 64,000 kalo. If Guruji just wrote one pankti, one line, that is, one line for each thing about, if you do that, you're going to end up as this janam. If you do that, you're going to end up in this birth. If you do that, if you just had 8.4 million categories, you know how many Guru Granth Sahib sized granths you need? You know how many you need? You need 120 something or 130 of the size of Guru Granth just to tell you what each action is June is giving you. Never mind about why we got Manas Janam. Guru don't bother with it. He just says, "Look, tu vadapagya, trust it, trust Guru. You're lucky." That's what he's saying. You don't need to go into the detail about how you got a human form. We've been going through all these life forms. Next Sakhi Soni si watch. Listen, it's really interesting. That jede vich pag tha na, one phal fruit kha liya siga. I think it's Farid ji, ਉਹਨੇ fruit ਖਾ ਲਿਆ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਦਰਖਤ ਆ the ਦਰਖਤ got saved ਹੈ ਨਾ because ਭਗਤ ਨੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਫਲ ਖਾ ਲਿਆ. So you don't know how you get human birth, you don't know where you were, just something's happened here, and Guru says human birth next, है ना. So पता नहीं है सानू. So we got a lot of materialistic baggage. Life is short and is passing away in daily chores, hopes, attachments. Is the life just finishing like that? Hopes, desires. We wrote we did the enlightenment course, and it's based on ek shabd. Just on one shabd, where it starts. Ekko sadgur jagta aur jag suta moh pyas. Sari dunya is asleep. Guruji saying, oh Guruji jagde, but they're stuck in two things, moh and pyas. We got attachment to what we have, and we got desire for the things we ain't have, and we're stuck in that. That's what immortality sadi. That's our spiritual death that happened. So we're just stuck in that thing. So I need to plant diamonds and not poison or even happiness. I don't need to come here for khushi, hai na? Khushi mil jave bahut badhiya hai. No one's saying to be moody little things and just sit there going, WhyGuru. You can have a bit of fun, but you don't live your life for fun. What does that mean? So it is easy to get caught up in Maya because the whole world's doing it. ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁਆਂਢੀ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖੀ ਤਾਂ they're doing it, your work colleagues are doing it, all your relatives are doing it, and you say ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਮਾਇਆ ਨੂੰ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਸਾਰੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੀ ਆ. So what's the fastest way of removing the extra baggage then? Does anybody know? What's the fastest way for baggage? ਹੁਣੇ ਬੰਦ ਕਰ ਦਈਏ baggage ਜਿਹੜਾ ਲਿਆਂਦਾ ਨਾਲ. ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਭਾਜੀ. Do Simran, good.
Try to attach with WhyGuru.
Try to attach with WhyGuru. ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ. ਹੋਰ ਦੱਸੋ. No one's helping you. Looking back, where is everyone?
Live by Guru Nanak Dev Ji's three golden rules. I don't know how that came about, but Kirtan, Guru Nanak, Japu, One Physical, daily life, daily routine.
Daily life, daily routine. So,
Nitnem, keep breath.
keep your head.
I think it's the motive, you know, you've got to analyse your motives for doing things, because all that stuff you said about ritualistic things, it's about what people think of you and how people
That's right, yeah.
look at you. But it's what inside you know what your motive is, and if it's pure
Yeah.
and it's unselfish, then
ਸ਼ੁੱਧ ਹਿਰਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਰਨਾ. That's good. Very nice. Yeah.
And doing Mathate.
ਮੱਥਾ ਟੇਕਣਾ. ਮੱਥਾ ਟੇਕ ਕੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਪਾਪ ਲੱਥ ਜਾਂਦੇ. ਹਾਂਜੀ. ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਨੀ. ਗੱਲ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਹਲੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰਲੀ. ਵਾਹ. ਹਾਂਜੀ. ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਨੀ. ਵੈਰੀ ਗੁੱਡ.
You have to live your life by the body.
Live your life by Guru ਦਾ ਬਚਨ is going to save you, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਬਚਨ is going to save you. ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਬਚਨ is going to save you. And also, ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੈ ਨਾ, sometimes this is not discussed, ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਛਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ, when you go there, ਪੰਜ ਪਿਆਰੇ say something to you, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਕੇ ਜਨਮੇ ਗਵਨ ਮਿਟਾਇਆ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁਣ ਜਨਮ ਲੈ ਲਿਆ ਆ. You are now part of Guru Nanak's house. ਹੁਣ ਗਵਨ means ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਵਾ ਗਵਨ ਤੇਰੇ ਮੱਥੇ ਤੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਨਾ, ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਲੈ ਗਿਆ ਹੁਣ. Sometimes we don't know that, ਹੈ ਨਾ. The first thing when you go to ਉੱਥੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਛਕ ਲਿਆ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਿਛਲਾ ਬੈਗੇਜ ਆ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਲੈ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ. He takes it. ਹੁਣ ਤੇਰਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਸ ਜਨਮ ਦਾ ਤੇਰਾ what you had to do here, you're going to have to carry on with that. ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਮਿਲ ਗਈ ਆ. What's in this janam you have to carry on. All the extra baggage, Guru takes it then. Takes it straight away. So people often say, I've got a clean slate. Hai na? That's kind of not correct to say it like that. Hai na? Because ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਜਨਮ ਦਾ slate ਆ, ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਹਲੇ ਹੈਗਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ. So sometimes you're still going to get... So often what people ask is, ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਨਿਤਨੇਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ, ਤਾਂ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਛਕੇ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੁੱਖ ਕਾਲੇ ਮਿਲਿਆ? That's the kind of question. The question is, why are they getting dukh? These guys do what? But that's not what it means, na? Sometimes it means Guru's going to say, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜੋ, ਨਾਮ ਜਪੋ, ਤੈਨੂੰ ਦੁੱਖ ਵੀ ਮਿਲੂਗਾ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਹੁਣ ਮੇਰਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰ in your ਦੁੱਖ. Guru saying, ਮੇਰਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰ in your ਦੁੱਖ. If you still love me, or are you going to say, why Guru, you give me a bit too much ਦੁੱਖ now, ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਭਗਤੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀ? Because that can happen. Person can say, there's too much. God doesn't exist, है ना.
You said that Christian, like Punjabi person told you about Christianity, but all the, if you go to Birmingham, you get the Muslims, you get Christians all around West Bromwich and all that, and they always tell you that if you say this prayer, all your sins in the past are forgiven. And that's why they attract so many people from our community, because you think all your past sins are forgiven.
Yeah. Because Guru di ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਨਾ. Look, if we listen what a Guru saying, so I'm not going to make it up, no? It's I can't remember it now. see that diversion there? Did you see that diversion? It'll come back to me. My brain, I'm getting old, no? It's ਨਾਮ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਕੇ ਜੋ ਰੰਗ ਰਾਤੇ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਨਾਮ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਕੇ, ਜੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੰਗ ਰਤੇ ਉਹ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਰੰਗ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ. ਰੰਗ, what does rang mean? Does anyone know what rang mean? What does color mean? ਪਿਆਰ. ਹਾਂ, ਰੰਗ means ਪਿਆਰ. ਰੰਗ ਕਲਰ ਤਾਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਰੰਗ means ਪਿਆਰ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਨਾਮ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਕੇ, ਜੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਜਪ ਕੇ ਨਾ, ਰੰਗ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ. ਕੱਲ ਮੈਂ ਸੁਖੀਏ ਸੇ ਗਣੀ, ਉਹ ਕਲਯੁਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਸੁਖੀ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੁੱਖ ਮਿਲ ਗਿਆ ਆ. ਅਵਰ ਉਪਾਓ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਸੂਝੈ. ਗੁਰੂ ਸੇਜ਼ ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ ਮੈਥਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ. ਨਾਨਕ ਤਰੀਏ ਗੁਰ ਬਚਨੀ, ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਬਚਨ ਨਾਲ ਤਰਨਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ, ਓਨਲੀ ਵਿਦ ਦ ਬਚਨ ਨਾਲ ਤਰਨਾ ਆ। ਨਾਮ ਨਾਲ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਨਾ, ਬਚਨ ਨਾਲ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਨਾ, ਗੁਰੂਜ਼ ਬਚਨ ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਗੁਰੂਜ਼ ਬਚਨ ਇੱਥੇ ਵਸ ਗਿਆ, ਯੂ ਨੋ ਹੈਪਨਸ ਦ ਬਚਨ ਯੂ ਟੇਕ ਇਟ ਵਿਦ ਯੂ ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਉੱਥੇ ਉਹ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਲੈ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸੇਜ਼ ਮੇਰਾ ਹੈ ਦੈਟ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਮਾਈਨ ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਦੈਟਸ ਹਾਊ ਗੁਰੂ ਸੇਜ਼ ਹਿਜ਼ ਵੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ, ਗੁਰੂ ਸੇਜ਼ ਇੱਕ ਮਨ ਇੱਕ ਚਿੱਤ ਨਾਲ ਤੂੰ ਨਾਮ ਜਪ, ਹਰ ਜਸ ਵੱਖਰ ਲੈ ਚਲੋ ਸ਼ੌ ਦੇਖੇ ਪਤੀ ਆਏ। ਜਦੋਂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਦੇਖਣੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਗੈਟਸ ਰੀਅਲੀ ਹੈਪੀ, ਗਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਆ, ਥੋੜਾ ਆਤਮਾ ਵਾਪਸ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਬੈਕ ਟੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਦੈਟਸ ਸੇਮ, ਇਟਸ ਸੇਮ ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਇਹ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਬੋਲ ਆ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਬਚਨ ਆ। ਗੁਰੂ ਸੇਜ਼ ਇਹਨੂੰ take it with you. ਭਾਈ ਗੁਰਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਵਾਰ ਆ, I ain't got that much time, but ਭਾਈ ਗੁਰਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਵਾਰ ਆ, ਭਾਈ ਗੁਰਦਾਸ ਜੀ talks, he says, you know, like जैसे हीरा हाथ में तन को दिखाई देत, एक जो हीरा हाथ ते रखिया ना, it looks like nothing. If you don't know what हीरे are, you're going to look at that and say, की आ काच जिहा, throw it away. But he says, you take it to the jeweler, he jeweler looks at it and says, ਉਹ ਭੰਡਾਰ ਭਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ jeweler. He says, my gosh, that's a rare thing that you got. It's rare, है ना? And he says that there's a second example Bhai Gurdas ji gives. He says, जैसे बांधी हुंडी लागत न पार कछु, आगे जाए पाइए तो लक्ष्मी अपार जी. If you had a check, if you wrote a check and you got a decent bank account, the check's paper, because the paper looks like nothing. What's the paper? He goes, but when you take it to the bank, he goes, bank ਕਹਿੰਦਾ, oh my gosh, it's £3 million, yeah, £3 million ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ, but the paper looks like nothing. And he says, there's a ਬੀਜ, जैसे बट बीज अत सूक्ष्म स्वरूप होत, बोए ते बिबत करे बिरखा बिस्तार जी. It's a seed ना, वो banyan पता नहीं tree आ, you plant it and it grows massive within 3 years, बहुत लंबी हो जाती है वो. He goes, but the seed looks like nothing when you look at the seed, है ना. And he says, तैसे गुर बचन सच्चन गुर सिखण में, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੱਚੇ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਉਹ ਬਚਨ ਹਿਰਦੇ 'ਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ. You know, they get the bachan is there. He said that ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਜਾਣੀਏ ਮਹਾਤਮ ਗਏ ਹੀ ਹਰਿਦੁਆਰ ਜੀ, ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹਰਿ ਦੇ ਦੁਆਰ ਦੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ, when they go to ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦਰਬਾਰ, ਫਿਰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ, oh my gosh, it's worth that much, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਇੱਥੇ ਤਾਂ we say, I heard about 10 minutes ਕੀਰਤਨ today. 10 ਮਿੰਟ ਦਾ ਕੀਰਤਨ might save you, you know. You know, a person says, ਮੈਂ ਪਾਠ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਅੱਜ, I'm happy today. That part might save you, you know. That part is that's ਗਹਿਣੇ, man. ਇਹ ਗਹਿਣੇ ਆ. That's why Sikh loves another Sikh. They don't love each other that much now, but ਜਿਹੜਾ love another Sikh, but ਇਹ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਆ, ਇਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਆ, ਇਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਲਾਲ ਆ. That's what that ਸ਼ਬਦ is, ਆਏ ਮਿਲ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਆਏ ਮਿਲ, ਤੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਕੇ ਪਿਆਰੇ, ਤੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਪਿਆਰਾ ਆ, ਮੈਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਲਵ ਕਰਨਾ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. That's what this thing is. So the first way of removing previous baggage is ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਕੋਲ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਸਿਰ ਦੇ ਦੇਣਾ, ਆਪਣਾ ਸਿਰ ਦੇ ਦੇਣਾ, ਵੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੇ I want to be born in Guru Nanak's house. ਜਦੋਂ ਸਿਰ ਦੇ ਤਾ ਫਿਰ baggage finished, ਹੈ ਨਾ. Look what Guru saying, ਮਾਇਆ ਮਮਤਾ ਮੋਹਣੀ ਜਿਨ ਵਿਣ ਦੰਤਾਂ ਜਗ ਖਾਇਆ, ਮਨਮੁਖ ਖਾਦੇ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਉਬਰੇ ਜਿਨੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਮ ਚਿਤ ਲਾਇਆ. ਇਹ ਮਾਇਆ ਨੇ ਦੰਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਮਾਇਆ's got no teeth, ਹੈ ਨਾ, but still ate everyone. ਖਾ ਲਿਆ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ, ਸੀ ਇਨਮ ਸਾਰੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਖਾ ਲਿਆ. ਪਰ ਗੁਰੂ says ਮਨਮੁਖ ਨੂੰ ਖਾ ਲਿਆ, ਪਰ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਉਹ ਬਚ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ. You know, person who becomes a ਗੁਰਮੁਖ, ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਹਿਰਦੇ 'ਚ ਆ, ਮੁਖ 'ਤੇ ਆ ਅਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਰਨੀ 'ਚ ਆ ਗੁਰੂ ਬਾਣੀ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਉਹ ਤਰ ਜਾਂਦੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਮਾਇਆ ਤੋਂ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਉਬਰੇ ਜਿਹਨੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਮ ਚਿੱਤ ਲਾਇਆ, ਨਾ ਚਿੱਤ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਨਾਮ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਪਹਿਲੋ ਹਉਮੈ ਮਮਤਾ ਮੋਹਣੀ ਮਨਮੁਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਗਈ ਖਾਏ, ਜੋ ਮੋਹ ਦੂਜੇ ਚਿੱਤ ਲਾਏ ਦੇ ਤਿਨਾ ਵਿਆਪ ਰਹੀ ਲਪਟਾਏ. Home, Guru says, is mamata moni as well. So Maya and our home is the same thing. You know, worldview, we're going to go back to our worldview now. You know, the worldview we may decide, oh, Maya wala ho gaya. So when we look at the world, it's all based on Maya. It's like, yeah, I like that, I don't like that, this, that. But Rabbani this, that. We got to change our eyes, our ears and our jeev. So we start seeing Rabb in it, na? WhyGuru nu dekhna ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ. You start seeing WhyGuru in it, ਹੁਣ ਮਾਇਆ ਨਹੀਂ, ਮਾਇਆ can't touch you then, ਨਾ. That's the hard part. That's what we're saying about Sikhi. Sikhi ਬਾਣਾ ਪਾਣੇ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. ਸਿੱਖੀਆਂ ਦਾੜੀ ਰੱਖ ਲਈ ਆ, ਸਿੱਖੀ even ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਛਕ ਲਿਆ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, you have to do those, ਨਾ. But that's not what the Sikhi part is. Sikhi part's this. It's this. And look at this. Then identity. So we had this worldview. Identity कितना बनाता सी. Look at this. What's your identity? Because someone tell me who you are. तुझे कौन है? Don't say Jat. Don't say like sir. Who are you? कौन है तुसी? कौन है तुसी? We are Sangat of Smethwick High Street. Who are you? कौन है तुसी? Who are you? है ना? But our children, this is the mess. This is the mess. It's our ability or disability, our status, our aptitudes, aspiration, awards, blah, 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 beliefs, birth order. I'm the middle child, so I always get the least from everybody. You know, oh, identity ban jandi hai. I'm the youngest, so I'm spoiled. Career and profession, you know, charisma, world occupation, education level. Asara, look at this. Asara, kinna complex cheez hai. Social status. You know, I did one of those tests, the My Heritage. Check my genetics. It came out that I was like 70% Punjabi, 10% Afghan, 9-10% Afghani, 20% South Indian. I know those numbers don't match, but it went to 100. I had 1.9% Italian. So I'm the Italian stallion, right, guys? Chill out, yeah. But you see, we don't even know. See, ayo kithe hai? Sorry, family kitho aayi hai? We don't even know where all that stuff's come from. It's a mess. It's messy, you know. So, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੁੜਨਾ ਅਸੀਂ. ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ Afghani ਸਿੱਖਿਆ, South ਸਿੱਖਿਆ, Punjabi ਸਿੱਖਿਆ. That's nonsense. Don't mean nothing. Don't mean anything. It means nothing, you know. That's just your genetic DNA. That's what your culture. That's your where you've grown up, where your past is, and all that. It's nice to have a bit of pyar for your family. Like I said last week, I don't know, oh, tusi kaun ha, mera DNA to separate hai thode nalo, hai na. Main to amrit chak liya. That's not that, hai na. You still got something there, hai na. But I'm just saying that means nothing. That means nothing. Kuch bhi nahi hai. So then, finalist thing. You know, then the worldview goes into our words, and that's when it goes sara kharab ho janda hai. Now, I don't need to make loads of noise. Person next to you, so say a sentence to the person next to you about something you can do and something you can't do. So say, I can't, don't use that Sikhi example, use something, but I can't or I can. Say something to someone next to you and just say something about what you can or can't do. Just say one of them to the person next to you. Don't make any confessions, no confession. Just say something to them what you can and can't do. Can't fly. In life now, what can you do, what can't you do? Five, 4, 3. Okay, ji. Okay. WhyGuru. Hello, WhyGuru. It doesn't really matter what you said. Is everybody listening? Everybody listening? I'm going to throw the board rubber at you like at school. Okay, guys. Sangadji, WhyGuru. It doesn't really matter what you said. What I'm more interested in is, when you said I, what was I? That's a very simplistic way of looking at it. But what was I when you said I can and I can't? Kisi, I can't see. Can't see. Who is it? Who was it? Did you think? When you said I, Barashati, I kehta na, I kaun hai? And this is the problem, na, is that, well, let me tell you something really beautiful about Sikhi. Sikhi makes our I into tum. You know that? I jiri ban jandi, tum ban janda oda. If you say in a specific way, you know, like Gurbani, it says, "Ja tu ta main maan kiya hai, tud bin keha mera mano." Or the main bhi gal aayi hai, mera bhi kya hai, but Guru says, "Te to bagair main hai nahi." So I, Sikh the I becomes tu, it becomes WhyGuru, है ना? Then the ego goes. ego starts going. It might not, it's not say straight away now you guys I's gone, but you start thinking about that word, and then that word don't mean anything to you after a bit. Word da koi matlab nahi hai I. And so he says, when I said I, what did you mean, and what were your feelings about yourself? When you said can't or can, why did you say that? And what can't you do? What can you do? How did you say can or can't? How did you say it? Did you just say, look at yourself and say, yeah, Tarsem can't do that? Is that how you're thinking? What's can and can't? What is it? So I is your identity, and can and can't, that's your belief. Your belief systems are, and all these things. Look, when you use these words, they say a lot about who you are. When you say I can, I can't, that's a belief system. When you say I do and I don't, that's your behavior system. When you say I want and I don't need that, that's your need system. Your emotion, I feel, I fear, I love, that's your emotional system. Capabilities, I can do, I can't do this, that's capabilities. A bit like belief, but it's capabilities. Intentions, I will, I won't, I want that, I don't want that. Asam Mansaya. You know what I mean? And your environment. Right now, I'm being prevented from doing this, or I can do this, I can't. That's your environment that's doing that. So your words, I know they've got more. Your words have got more than just what you've been using them for. We've been using them just like saying, "Kitna bhaji theek hai." You know what I mean? But that mean that words. Your words are depth. They've got depth. They've got lots of depth, And so, when you look at this, look, there's a positive and a negative on these. If you have an identity system, you can just say, "I'm grateful for this." Now, all of a sudden, your home is halved, Or your homemade can be saying to you, I'm not sure even who I am. I don't even know what's going on. That might even be a good state, actually. That's not a really good example, because that one could be while you're transitioning, But your homemade could be saying, I don't give a damn about anyone, or something like that, But that's an identity, a belief system. I can handle life, I can't do it right now. But if you ever look at some of these, again, I can't go through them all because of the time, But don't need much to feel good. That's a need system, but I want things to feel easier. That's a need, So we got loads of these little systems inside of us, but they come out in our words. One thing I said was, because before anyone gets married, let them fill it out. Then you say, you know what I mean? You find out quite a lot about a person by them filling that out. But if you look at it from a Sikhi perspective, so identity for Sikh, ignoring those words, is Jyot. To see Jyot, you're light of WhyGuru. You're not a caste. You're not a national of a certain land. You're none of that. It's nonsense. Jyotya. And we're mehman here. See, guest here. This is not our world, A guest here. We're here as guests. And here, when you've got a belief system of hukam, karma and ardas, or different cheez ho jandi hai, what can't you do now? If you say main ardas karke kar sakda hai, that's a belief system now. Now what can't you do? Where your egotistical belief system is limited, Guru gives you extra things that aren't. Behavior, if you start operating through virtues and simran, needs. Naam chahida sanu, Guru de bachan chahide sanu. We don't need, our needs are not, the other ones we need them to survive, that's survival things. And fear and love of WhyGuru, that's our emotional system. We'll talk about that next week. But capability, Guru's angsang. Guru angsanga, Guru's with me, now you're capable, what you're capable of? You're capable of doing nearly anything, Ki nahi kar sakde. And that's why, Dukh can go away when changing these systems. Asham, Mansa, Rabavitya. My intention is to find God. So now these are just things that are happening on the way. I might get a bit of bad problem here, a good thing happens here, bad here. But I'm trying to, it's either Rabnu Laban challe, that's going to be part of the journey, And Sharan and Rakhya. If you're in WhyGuru's environment, how's your house stopping you doing it? How's, some people say, my mum and dad aren't religious and they're stopping. No, that doesn't make no difference. Koi fark nahi penda. Mum and dad is not religious. That make no difference whatsoever. What you do in here, no one can stop it. What you do in here, doesn't matter what's around you. Santana shode santi, je kot mile asant. There are sant hunda na, a person got virtues. Their virtues don't go, it doesn't matter. And jine marji 1000 papi kar do samne, unhe change nahi hona. They don't change, So it doesn't matter. Your environment is with how Gurbani wants it to. Very quickly, because Bubban's going to beat me up in a minute. What is your worldview? What do you see? Aki dista thanu? What do you see here? What do you see?
Homes, buildings.
Tarti kiya. What is that tarti? What is it? It's countryside. Yeah, that's true. It's true. It's countryside. But what do you see? Spiritually, what do you see? What do you see when you walk out the road and you see Smedik? I know it's a terrible place, but what do you see? What do you see? You know? What do you see? ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਧਰਤੀ ਆ ਨਾ ਕਬੀਰ ਧਰਤੀ ਸਾਧ ਕੀ ਇਹ ਸਾਧਾਂ ਦੀ ਧਰਤੀ ਆ you know that this stuff here ਇਹ ਸਾਧਾਂ ਦੀ ਆ this is ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਦੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਧਰਤੀ ਆ ਇਹ and when you look outside ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਨਾ ਭਗਤੀ ਕਰਦੇ and you go outside ਉਹ ਧਰਤੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਆ ਸਾਰੀ that's your mother ਉਹਨੇ ਤੇਰੀ ਪਾਲਣਾ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ that's your mother that ਧਰਤੀ is ਉਹ ਸਾਧਾਂ ਦੀ ਆ ਸਾਡੀ ਆ ਮੇਰੀ ਆ ਉਹ it's mine it's yours this don't belong to Mr. Jones it might do ਇਹ ਧਰਤੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਇਹ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦੀ ਭਗਤਾਂ ਦੀ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਧਰਤੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਕਬੀਰ ਜੀ ਕਬੀਰ ਧਰਤੀ ਸਾਧ ਕੀ ਤਸਕਰ ਬੈਸੇ ਗਾਏ ਇਹਦੇ ਚੋਰ ਆ ਗਏ ਬਹਿ ਗਏ ਆ ਚੋਰ ਆ ਗਏ ਆ ਧਰਤੀ ਤੇ when you all talk about Raj, isn't it? So we want Raj like this. Raj, asli Raj, pata ki a sari dharti is sadi. Take the whole dharti, you know, a little bit, all of it. And ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਚੋਰ ਬਹਿ ਗਏ ਇੱਥੇ but you know the ਧਰਤੀ ਇਹ ਮਾਂ ਆ ਨਾ ਧਰਤੀ ਭਾਰ ਨਾ ਪਿਆ ਪਈ ਉਹਦਾ there's different translation slightly for that on ਕੋ ਲਾਹੂ ਲਾਏ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਤੇ ਧਰਤੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਮਾਂ ਮਾਫ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਆ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਧਰਤੀ it doesn't look at you to say ਤੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਨਾਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਪਿਆ ਅੱਜ it still gives them fruit ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਲ ਦੇਈ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਧਰਤੀ gives everybody it's beautiful ਰੱਬ ਆ it's like WhyGuru coming through your ਧਰਤੀ so now your worldview is different and when you look around don't just go somewhere and say aren't the mountains really pretty here ਹੈ ਨਾ have a look at it properly WhyGuru ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਨਾ WhyGuru's in it it's different ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ 'ਚ ਕੀ ਦੇਖਣਾ we have to first see it in ਕੁਦਰਤ you know ਅਚਰਜ ਤੇਰੀ ਕੁਦਰਤ ਤੇਰੇ ਕਦਮ ਸਲਾਹ ਗਣੀ ਵੀ ਤੇਰੀ ਸਿਫਤ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨਾ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੀ ਕੁਦਰਤ is beautiful ਉਹ ਕੁਦਰਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ WhyGuru's in his nature ਹੈ ਨਾ and ਜਿਸ ਭਾਵ ਹੈ now this is where I think it finishes ਹੈ ਨਾ WhyGuru ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੋ ਪਾਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਲਾ ਲੈਣਾ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨਾਮ ਚ ਲਾਉਣਾ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਗੇਮ ਚ ਸਿੱਟ ਦੇਣਾ ਆ that's what he's going to do to us ਹੈ ਨਾ ਜਿਸ ਭਾਵ ਹੈ ਤਿਸ ਆਪਣਾ ਨਾਂ ਲਾਵੇ ਜਿਸ ਭਾਵ ਹੈ ਤਿਸ ਖੇਲ ਖਿਲਾਵੇ ਜੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨਾਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਾਤਾ ਦੱਸ ਵੀ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਅੱਜ ਤੋਂ ਨਾ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਇਹੀ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਵੇ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਾਲ ਲਾ ਲਾ because I don't want to be in the game if you stay in the game you got your back baggage you're making some new baggage ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ game ਤਾਂ finish ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣੀ ਉਹ but till now it's very clear what Gurbani is saying no one won you know everyone played no one won ਹੈ ਨਾ if you play the game ਗੁਰੂ ਤੋਂ ਬਗੈਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹਾਰ ਜਾਣਾ ਆ ਇਹ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਆ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦਾ for everybody ਹਾਰ ਜਾਣਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ you can't win that game because ਉਸ game ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ someone's brain starts worldview starts going a bit funky ਹੈ ਨਾ and starts saying it's all right here isn't it it's all right here ਨਾ it's not all right here ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਰੱਬ we want to go back to WhyGuru man ਇੱਥੇ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਅਸੀਂ but person ਇੱਥੇ ਬੈਠਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਿੰਘ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਬੈਠਾ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਸਦਾ ਲਈ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਇੱਥੇ he said human being sitting here saying ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਮਰਨਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ but he said if you wake up and say ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਜਾਣ ਨੂੰ ਤਿਆਰ ਹਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਤਿਆਰ ਹੈ ਠੀਕ ਆ ਹੈ ਨਾ then now you start loving it now your love is different ਇਹ WhyGuru ਆ that's WhyGuru ਹੈ ਨਾ so that was quite a big journey there's quite a lot of stuff there ਹੈ ਨਾ but the main thing is ਤੁਸੀਂ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ you see that they bore your head off don't they lecturers ਹੈ ਨਾ ਬੜਾ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ when it's Gurbani we say that seems a little bit hard that these guys doing quantum physics or something like that you know Guru Ji the way he's given us our Sikhi he's given us our Sikhi to say tu mera aa ਮੈਨੂੰ I was doing a sage part when Pankti I found this Pankti and it said why Guru it said that Guru has asked you to come back to home loads of times ਉਹ ਤੂੰ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ Don't come. He said, ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਆ ਜਾ, come back home, ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਨਾਮ ਨਾਲ ਲੱਗਣਾ। That's what we should be saying. ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਆ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ you know when ਭਗਤ ਰਵਿਦਾਸ, sorry I'll just finish off, I know ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਾ, ਮੈਂ ਭਗਤ ਰਵਿਦਾਸ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਉਹਨੇ ਕੀਤੀ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਜਨਮ ਵਿਛੜੇ ਥੇ ਮਾਲੋ, ਜਨਮ ਬਹੁਤ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਿਛੜ ਗਏ ਆ ਹੁਣ, loads have gone past, ਇਹ ਜਨਮ ਤੁਮਾਰੇ ਲੇਖੇ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਆ ਲੇਖੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਲੇਖੇ 'ਚ ਆ ਹੁਣ ਜਨਮ। ਕਹਿ ਰਵਿਦਾਸ ਆਸ ਅਲੱਗ ਜੀਵੋ, ਆਸ ਇਹ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੀ will, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ will do it, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ will do it, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆਸ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਆਸ ਆ ਮੇਰੀ, ਆਸਾ ਮਨਸਾ। ਕਹਿ ਰਵਿਦਾਸ ਆਸ ਅਲੱਗ ਜੀਵੋਂ, ਚਿਰ ਪਏ ਉਹ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਕੇ, ਬਹੁਤ ਚਿਰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਏ, ਬਹੁਤ ਚਿਰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਇਸਨ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣ ਲੇਖੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਾਤੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਤੇਰੇ ਲੇਖੇ 'ਚ। So that's the long journey about ਦੁੱਖ ਸੁੱਖ ਸਾਡੀ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਲੰਬੀ ਚੌੜੀ ਆ as well, ਲੰਬੀ and ਚੌੜੀ, ਹੈ ਨਾ। So much ਦੁੱਖ ਸੁੱਖ we brought with us, and we living in this ਦੁਨੀਆ, and ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੇ ਦੁੱਖ ਨੂੰ ਦੂਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਸਿਖਾਓ, ਅਸੀਂ ਲਾਗੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਏ ਉਹਦੇ, we haven't even gone near it, ਹੈ ਨਾ, we haven't gone near it. So your life journey now is ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਬਚਨ ਆ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਜਾ ਕੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਆ, ਅਸੀਂ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ। You have to try and understand it, what he's saying. And there's so many things in there that one really beautiful thing, I'll find my final thing. final thing. ਚਲੋ 4 ਵੀਕਾਂ ਹੀ ਆ, we might do this again anyway, ਹੈ ਨਾ। But ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, there was this, I want to tell you a story. There was these monks, ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਪਰਸ਼ ਸਮਝਦੇ, ਸਪਰਸ਼, you know what ਸਪਰਸ਼ is? ਸਪਰਸ਼, we got senses, ਹੈ ਨਾ, we got ਦੇਖਣਾ, ਸੁਣਨਾ, ਸੁਗੰਧਤ, ਗੰਧ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਨੱਕ ਨਾਲ ਸਮੈਲ ਕਰਨਾ, ਅਤੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਚੱਖਣਾ, ਟੇਸਟ ਕਰਨਾ। ਸਪਰਸ਼ is the 5th one, is touch, ਹੈ ਨਾ, touch, ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਟੱਚ ਕਰਨਾ। there's monks in India, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਾਧੂ, they have ਉਹਨੇ ਸਹੁੰ ਖਾਧੀ ਹੋਆ, they're sworn that the whole thing that they're not going to ever touch anyone, ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਹੱਥ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਾਉਣਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ। that's their ਭਗਤੀ, ਹੈ ਨਾ। that's what Guru said, ਬਹੁਤ ਪਖੰਡ ਆ, when Guru says ਭਾਈ ਸ਼ਰਾਵਗ ਸੁਧ ਸਮੂਹ ਸਿਧਾਨ ਕੋਈ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਖਰ ਜੋਗ ਜਤੀ ਕੇ ਸੁਰ ਸੁਦਾਦਨ ਸੁਧ ਸੁਦਾਦਿਕ ਸੰਤ ਸਮੂਹ ਅਨੇਕ ਮਤੀ। ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਮੈਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਤੇ ਸੰਤ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, but he says what they do, they don't touch anyone, ਹੈ ਨਾ। so what happened was ਉਹਨੇ ਸਹੁੰ ਖਾ ਲਈ ਆ, so they were walking somewhere, and what happened was ਉੱਥੇ ਬੀਬੀ ਸੀ ਬੈਠੀ on the edge of the river, and the ਪਾਣੀ ਉੱਪਰ ਨੂੰ ਚੜ੍ਹ ਗਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ, the water started going really long, ਹੈ ਨਾ, and she couldn't get across. She goes, if I don't go home now, ਮੇਰੇ husband ਨੇ ਇੰਨੇ ਗੁੱਸੇ ਹੋਣਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਤੇ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ, ਭਾਈ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਰਹੀ ਤੂੰ, ਹੈ ਨਾ। so sadhu's looking at her, and ਉਹਨੂੰ ਤਰਸ ਆ ਗਿਆ, he got a bit pity on her, ਹੈ ਨਾ, and he picked her up, and he took her across the river and took on the other side. Then they were walking for 3 miles, 4 miles ਨਿਕਲ ਗਏ, and the one next to him ਬਹੁਤ ਰੁੱਸਿਆ ਜਿਹਾ ਸੀ, he was really angry, the one next to him, ਹੈ ਨਾ, and he came and he couldn't help himself, ਹੈ ਨਾ, he goes ਮੈਨੂੰ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਆਇਆ ਤੇਰੇ ਤੇ, he goes we made a promise, and he goes ਤੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਹੱਥ ਲਾਤਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ, and he said a really beautiful thing, and he goes ਮੈਂ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, he goes 3 miles back, ਹੈ ਨਾ, I let her go, he goes you're still carrying her, ਹੈ ਨਾ, you're still carrying her, you got it in your brain. Now look what he's trying to say. When we read Sukhmani Sahib, ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਮਿਥਿਆ ਨਾਹੀ ਰਸਨਾ ਪਰਸ, ਮਨ ਮੈਂ ਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਨਿਰੰਜਨ ਦਰਸ, ਪਰ ਤ੍ਰਿਆ ਰੂਪ ਨਾ ਪੇਖੈ ਨੇਤਰ, ਸਾਧ ਕੀ ਟਹਿਲ ਸੰਤ ਸੰਗ ਹੇਤ, ਕਰਨ ਨਾ ਸੁਣੇ ਕਾਹੂ ਕੀ ਨਿੰਦਾ, ਸਭ ਤੇ ਜਾਣੇ ਆਪਸ ਕੋ ਮੰਦਾ। Now let's go through that. What Guru saying is, ਤੇਰੇ ਜੀਭ ਤੇ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਜੀਭ ਤੇ ਝੂਠ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਝੂਠ comes from here, comes from underneath, then it touches your jib last, starts somewhere else, है ना। He says your brain, man, should be only after darshan, WhyGuru da darshan, that's what you should be after, not jhoot shouldn't come there, है ना। ਪਰ ਤਰਿਆ ਰੂਪ ਨਾ ਪੇਖੈ ਨੇਤਰ, ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਔਰਤ ਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਐਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਤਾਂ ਯੂ ਡੋਂਟ ਲੁੱਕ ਐਟ ਅ ਵੂਮਨ ਇਨ ਅ ਮਾੜਾ ਵੇ। ਸਾਧ ਕੀ ਟਹਿਲ ਸੰਤ ਸੰਗ ਹੈ ਹੇਤ, ਤੂੰ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਟਹਿਲ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ, ਯੂ ਗੋਇੰ ਟੂ ਸੇਵਾ ਗੁਰੂ, ਅਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਕਰਨਾ। ਐਂਡ ਦੈਨ ਜੋ ਕਾਮ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵਾਸ਼ਨਾ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਇਟ ਸ਼ੁਡ ਚੇਂਜ ਟੂ ਦੈਟ, ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਤੈਨੂੰ ਗੁਰੂ ਸੇ ਕਰਨ ਨਾ ਸੁਣੇ ਕਾਹੂ ਕੀ ਨਿੰਦਾ, ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਨਿੰਦਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੁਣਨੀ ਤੈਂ, ਨਿੰਦਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੁਣਨੀ। You don't listen about something bad about someone. ਸਭ ਤੇ ਜਾਣੇ ਆਪਸ ਕੋ ਮੰਦਾ। You say I'm the worst, what are you going to tell me? You can't be as bad as me, ਹੈ ਨਾ। But look what Guru says. ਇੰਦਰੀ ਜਿੱਤ ਪੰਜ ਦੋਖ ਤੇ ਰਹਿਤ। He says a person, sorry, before that, he goes, ਕਰਨ ਨਾ ਸੁਣੇ ਕਾਹੂ ਕੀ ਨਿੰਦਾ, ਸਭ ਤੇ ਜਾਣੇ ਆਪਸ ਕੋ ਮੰਦਾ, ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਬਿਖਿਆ ਪਰ ਹਰੈ, ਮਨ ਕੀ ਬਾਸ਼ਨਾ ਮਨ ਮੈਂ ਟਰੈ। I'm going somewhere with this, sorry to keep you that long. ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ says, ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ, ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਨਾਲ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਬਿਖਿਆ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਿਖਿਆ ਜ਼ਹਿਰ ਆ ਉਹ ਦੂਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮਨ ਦੀ ਬਾਸ਼ਨਾ ਆ it dies inside before it touches the indriya, before it, Kam Vashna stops before it hits the eyes, Nindya stops before it goes from the ears, Jhoot stops before it touches the tongue. Now you understand what a proper monk is? Monk ਦੀ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਗਈ ਆ? ਪਰ monk ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ੇਰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ। Look how Guru ji used that. Guru says, ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਬਿਖਿਆ ਪਰ ਹਰੇ, ਮਨ ਕੀ ਬਾਸ਼ਨਾ ਮਨ ਤੇ ਟਰੈ, ਇੰਦਰੀ ਜਿੱਤ ਪੰਜ ਦੋਖ ਤੇ ਰਹਿਤ, ਨਾਨਕ ਕੋਟ ਮਦੇ ਕੋ ਐਸਾ ਅਪਰਸ। Now a purse is a person who doesn't touch anyone. He goes, ਐਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਅਪਰਸ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਆ। I don't need that one who's gone outside, because I want that one ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਪਾਪ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਇੱਥੇ, you know, like we talk about addicts, ਹੈ ਨਾ। Addict ਦੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ, if you don't stop it when it's before it goes somewhere, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਲੋਟ ਪੋੜ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ, he's going to get done. Guru saying that same thing about a human being, saying it to us. He said when that paap comes, है ना, if the paap, make sure don't touch your eyes, don't touch your ears, don't touch your kan, don't touch your hath, don't touch your pair, because now you're like the proper monk. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੱਥ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਾਉਂਦਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ। Look how Guru changed the whole thing. ਇਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਗਿਆਨ ਆ। That's how beautiful it is. ਬਹੁਤ next level ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਬਾਣੀ। Guru saying to us, ਤੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅੰਦਰ ਦੀ ਬਾਸ਼ਨਾ ਆ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਾਸ਼ਨਾ ਸਮੈਲ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਅੰਦਰ ਮਾਰ ਦੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ, ਉਹ ਬਾਹਰ ਨਾ ਆਵੇ ਤੇਰੇ। Shouldn't touch anything. And that is Sikhi. ਇਹ ਆ Sikhi. Sikhi is not ਮੇਰਾ ਰੂਪ ਬਾਹਰੋਂ ਆਉਣਾ, saying some pretty things on presentation. Sikhi ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਆ ਵੀ ਅੰਦਰ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੋਵੇ inside. That's what you're trying to do. And I say ਸਾਡੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ। So hopefully you've ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ ਤਾਂ if we can, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਾਈ ਆ ਸਾਡੇ ਹਿਰਦੇ 'ਚ ਵਸ ਜਾਵੇ। This ਦੁਨੀਆ ਨਾ is a big ਸੰਸਾਰ is. So Guru says, ਬਾਬਾ ਬਿਖ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਸੰਸਾਰ, ਇਹ ਪੋਇਜ਼ਨ ਆ ਸੰਸਾਰ, ਰੱਖਿਆ ਕਰੋ ਗੁਸਾਈ ਮੇਰੇ, ਮੈਂ ਨਾਮ ਤੇਰਾ ਆਧਾਰ, ਮੇਰੀ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਕਰ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ, ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ, I'm using your name as my loan, ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ is our loan, ਆਧਾਰ ਆ ਸਾਡਾ, ਉਹ ਸਾਡਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, it's our ਆਧਾਰ, we borrowed it, ਹੈ ਨਾ। So it's our support, it's what we're leaning on, it's our thing, and what Guru's given us. So hopefully that made sense. Sorry if you fell asleep a little bit, but if it's bits of it you didn't understand, please go and re-watch it. It's worth doing, है ना। So ठीक है बबन सिंह, ठीक है।
There's just a couple of announcements on Sunday for any females. There's a women's